That which is known as Rama, that which is known as you, is in truth the magnificent and infinite ocean of consciousness, in which numerous universes appear and disappear like ripples and waves. Remain in a state of total equanimity. You are like the infinite space. This is what we are. We are infinite space for everything to happen within. This is our awareness. Everything is happening within us. Including yourself as an individual or an ego personality. That is also happening within this infinite space. So it's not about you as a person, you as an individual. It is you as awareness, which is non-different from my awareness. We tend to think this is my awareness, but my awareness, notions of myness arise in this awareness. Awareness is totally uncoloured. It's not affected by any particular personality. How can it be? Because everything arises within it. Universes appear and disappear like ripples and waves. Universes are appearing and disappearing every instant. This is what's happening within this awareness. Fire is inseparable from heat, fragrance from the lotus, blackness from collyrium, whiteness from snow, sweetness from sugarcane, and light from a luminary. Even so, experiencing is inseparable from consciousness. Even as waves are inseparable from the ocean, even so the universes are inseparable from consciousness. So experiencing and consciousness, experiencing and awareness are like fragrance and the lotus. So experiencing is like the fragrance of the lotus, of awareness. Because if there was nothing to experience, there'd be no awareness. We're often asked to remain equanimous. The traditional yogic idea is to be like the ocean with no waves. But self-inquiry doesn't go along with that. Self-inquiry is about acknowledging all these waves, but realizing your nature as the ocean. And that's where equanimity comes from. It doesn't come from making the waves quiet. It comes from realizing your nature as the ocean. And then the waves become like mosquitoes on an elephant's back. Experiencing is non-different from consciousness. The egosense is non-different from experiencing. The jiva is non-different from egosense. And the mind is non-different from jiva, non-different or inseparable. The senses are non-different from the mind. The body is non-different from the senses. The world is non-different from the body, and there is nothing but this world. This catalogue of dependent categories has existed for a very long time. Yet this has neither been set in motion by anyone, nor can we say whether it has existed for a very, very long or very short time. The truth is, O Ram, all this is not else but the self-experiencing of the infinite. So these are various cognitive categories that have come into being. There's consciousness, awareness, which realizes itself through experiencing. Within that experiencing there forms vortexes known as the ego sense. This ego sense gives rise to notions of a soul, an individual soul, or a strong sense of individuality. and along with that comes notions of mind. The mind creates notions of the senses, which in turn gives us the notion of the body. And once we've got a notion of a separate body, we get notions of an external world out there. So this is one causal chain, if you like, a causal chain of cognition. But it's all simply the self-experiencing of the infinite. Awareness and experiencing are the bottom lines, the stream of experiencing and awareness of that stream of experiencing. They are reflections of each other, and they're non-different. There is emptiness in the empty. Brahman pervades Brahman. The truth shines in the truth, and fullness fills fullness. The wise man, though functioning in this world, does nothing, for he seeks nothing, and in that way he accomplishes everything. Even so, O Ram, remain pure at heart like space, but outwardly engage yourself in appropriate action. In situations which could provoke exaltation or depression, remain unaffected by them like a log of wood. You don't become an emotional zombie though. You experience these things, but then you are right yourself after you've been knocked off kilter. He who is friendly even to one who is about to murder him is a seer of truth. Adoration of one who has not thus risen above likes and dislikes, rag and dvesha, is futile effort. Only he who is free from egoistic or volitional activity and who is utterly not attached to anything here is liberated. Even if he should destroy the world, he does nothing. Well, that seems like rather an extreme example. But the point is, this person can be incredibly active. In fact, such a person would be a very efficient and effective individual in terms of whatever they're doing. But they are in effect doing nothing because they've got no vested self-interest in it. And that's why it's described as non-volitional. They're just doing what needs to be done. He in whom all concepts and habitual tendencies have ceased has overcome all mental conditioning and bondage. He is like a lamp which is not fed with oil. And this is close to the meaning of nirvana. We're no longer fueling the creation of notions which we get emotionally identified with, which we believe are somehow true.